Hello. This is just a note for people who want to paint outside, en plein air, as it's called, painting landscapes, taking your equipment out into the field, and to paint outdoors. Okay, so it's about the easels that are needed. And what you'd normally take is you can take an outdoor studio easel, or you can take a pochade box. It's another French word. Pochade, I think, means pocket, doesn't it? So it just means it's small, and you paint small. You paint, it's no bigger than postcard size, or 8 by 10 at the most, or whatever. So I'll show you the two easels that I have. I've got this large one, as I'm picking up now. This thing here, you see them a lot. It's like the kind of easel that you could bring outdoors and keep in the studio, and it takes a large canvas, but it's a hefty thing. So we'll try to get a better comparison with my bulk. So I think it's called a Julien, but I'm not sure. But they're in all the art shops. I got this one second hand. I mean, they're not that expensive. I don't think. You probably get one for about 130 or something like that. But it has wooden legs. The whole thing is really well made in a hardwood. But they're kind of difficult to set up, I think, and pretty bulky and heavy. To be honest, it's not my recommendation unless you're sort of got biceps like a bricklayer. And often I've taken it out and spent quite some time trying to set it up. But I mean, it does have some useful features. For example, when you're set up, I'm not sure if I can actually do this. Do bear with me for a second. It's got plenty of room inside for paints, and this whole section, the drawer, so to speak, it pulls out sometimes. Oh, here we go. Look, when you're actually set up, that drawer with all your paints in it and your brushes and materials kind of pulls out, which is a useful feature. As I say, it takes a large canvas, but too bulky for me. But I'll show you the next one that I have. And this one's a bit of an improvisation, but they're commonly available. And if you have any skill with woodwork, this is quite a useful thing to do. This is the Burren easel, which is available in a lot of the shops. I mean, they come in a couple of sizes. I think there's a slightly larger one, but they're both kind of good. I got this one because it was small, and I could make a little pochade box out of it. So it's the usual one that people bring to my class. It folds up like that, and then you can tighten it up here when you're going to paint. Now, I've made a couple of modifications. So on the inside, if you can see in there, here I've put in slivers of wood, batons I suppose, that just fall about 6 millimeters short of the edge, and that means I can actually lay a pallet that I also made to measure for this out of some plywood. I can just lay it on there and not affect the tubes of paint underneath and the brushes and things like that. Now the other big modification I suppose is that I reinforced the bottom of this box with another 6mm sheet of plywood. I glued it on, and then I screwed back in the little feet there. And the other thing that you would need if you were going to do this is this thing here, and that allows the I don't know what you call it, the fitting that goes on the bottom of your camera to fit in there. And once you've done that, you can fit that entire Burren easel onto a photographer's easel. And this I got second hand. It's very light, very light, very portable, because it even has a handle here. You can carry it around. It's a lightweight easel. It's not an expensive easel. This is a relatively cheap one, but it is reasonably sturdy. I checked that out before I got it. But see the head here, that's where you usually put the camera. You attach one of those onto the camera, and then that fits in to here, you see, just like that. But see, this thing will be, when you're out in the field with your easel, you will have screwed that into this contraption, you see, that you've screwed to the bottom of the box after you've reinforced it, you see, and then that will work as a plein air pochade box easel.
Okay, so this is something like the kind of pochade box easel that you would want. This one is made by Artco, and it takes what, a 10-inch by 12-inch painting board, and you could probably, I'm kind of guessing at this, but we'll see in a moment. It'll take more than one, maybe up to four, but we'll see. So this is the kind of thing that you want. And I have to stress at this point that I am not affiliated with these people or Amazon at all. I just found this, and maybe one day I'll be buying one myself, because they can go up to extraordinary prices and sophistication. But this one seems to be pretty good. And let's have a look at the other. Well, let's see that. Look, there's the large. You can see closer detail. It looks kind of well made. The fittings look there just as good as the fittings on anything else that I've used. So look at this one. Here we go. Look, you see that it slides into the lower part of the box. You can see the slot along the sides. It's interesting that it's got a palette with it. Got room for a few paints. Palette knife, and you can see there off to the right, around here, it's got slots for 2 paintings. Well, I mean, you're hardly likely to get more than 2 paintings done in a session anyway. To put this on your camera tripod, you are going to need one of these things here, and it seems that they're frequently bought together for £65 sterling. You can see close up. You see 4 screws. That's why you need to reinforce the bottom of the Burren easel, is so that you can take these screws. And have a look down here. Look, you can see one for £11.99 here. I can save a bit of money that way. £16.25 looks like a similar thing there. This would be the one that I'd go for. That's how you would make a pochade box easel using your Burren box. But you're going to need that even if you buy the above Artco one, which we'll go back to here. This one, you see? And you can see the prices of some of the ones here. Look at that. It's a €150 one. £226, I should say. There are all sorts of ones that you can buy, but you don't need something that's overly sophisticated. You really don't.